How many more years will we see you play?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
LeBron James, at 41 years old, might be done with basketball forever, and his own son Bronny just let something slip that has the entire NBA world losing its mind right now.
He's also your dad, and then once you get out there, how do you kind of stop thinking about that?
I'm always thinking about, that's my dad, because that's literally my dad.
And honestly, what's brewing behind the scenes is bigger than anything we've seen from the James family. LeBron's retirement and Vegas ownership power play.
Yeah, I want to live. When I know, you guys will know. I don't know.
Now let me tell you something, and I need everybody to hear me loud and clear on this one. LeBron Raymond James, the man who has dominated the National Basketball Association for 23 consecutive seasons, the man who has accumulated more points than any human being to ever lace up sneakers in this league. That man is sitting right now at a crossroads that could reshape not just his legacy, but the entire future landscape of professional basketball as we know it. And I am not being dramatic when I say that, because the facts, the reporting, and the sheer magnitude of what is unfolding behind closed doors demands that level of respect and attention from every single person who has ever watched this man play the game of basketball at the highest possible level for over 2 decades.
LeBron, just what was going through your mind when you saw the video and the ovation and everything, considering everything that you've been through and experienced in this city?
I don't know. Didn't expect that.
As of late February 2026, LeBron James has not officially announced his retirement from the NBA.
Obviously, I haven't made a decision on the future, but very well could be. So, no matter if it's here or, going to Washington.
His contract with the Los Angeles Lakers, worth $52.6 million in player option money that he exercised last summer, expires at the end of this season. That makes him an unrestricted free agent this coming summer, and let me emphasize that word for everybody in the back, unrestricted, meaning LeBron James can do whatever LeBron James wants to do, and nobody, not Rob Pelinka, not Jeannie Buss, not the commissioner himself, can tell that man otherwise. But here is where it gets absolutely fascinating, and I need you to lean in close for this part, because this is the information that has the entire basketball world buzzing like a hornet's nest that somebody just kicked over. NBA insider Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report reported in late February 2026 that there is growing momentum and increasing buzz in league circles that LeBron could retire this offseason and immediately transition into ownership of a Las Vegas NBA expansion franchise. Now stop right there. Let that sink in for just a moment. We are not talking about LeBron James riding off into the sunset with a farewell tour and tears and standing ovations. We are talking about LeBron James going from putting the ball in the basket to owning the entire building where the basket sits. That is a fundamentally different conversation, and it is one that carries implications worth billions of dollars.
Thoughts does that give you about your end game, and how many more years will we see you play?
Something I'll sit down with my family, my wife, and my support group and kind of just talk through it and see what happens, and then just have a conversation with myself.
The financial architecture of this potential move is what makes it genuinely compelling. Rich Paul, the founder of Clutch Sports Group and LeBron's longtime agent, could potentially sell part or all of Clutch Sports, possibly to United Talent Agency, to generate the capital necessary for a legitimate ownership bid. And we are talking about expansion fees that could reach $7 billion or more per team. So LeBron would absolutely need massive financial partners to make this work. But here's the thing, LeBron already holds a minority stake in Fenway Sports Group, which owns the Boston Red Sox, Liverpool Football Club, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The man is not new to ownership. He has been building toward this moment for years, and everyone who has been paying attention knows it. And let me take you back to 2022 for a second, because this is important context. During an exhibition game press conference in Las Vegas, LeBron looked directly at Commissioner Adam Silver and said those now famous words, "I want the team here, Adam. Thank you." That was not a throwaway comment. That was a declaration of intent from a man who does not say things by accident. LeBron's business partner, Maverick Carter, is reportedly involved with interested ownership groups, and the entire operation, Spring Hill Company, the investments, the media empire, all of it positions LeBron as arguably the most compelling face any expansion franchise could possibly put forward. Now, Commissioner Adam Silver has stated that the league will make a determination on expansion sometime in 2026, with the NBA Board of Governors Warriors meeting in March 2026 expected to be a significant milestone. Silver himself has said they will not be voting at the March meeting, but will likely come out of those meetings ready to take a next step in terms of potentially talking to interested parties. Las Vegas is a frontrunner alongside Seattle for what most people expect to be a two-team expansion, bringing the league to 32 franchises. And when you look at Vegas already having the Raiders, the Golden Knights, the Aces, the Athletics relocating there, and hosting the NBA Summer League and NBA Cup Finals, the market practically screams readiness. The reaction from the NBA world has been exactly what you would expect, a mixture of pure excitement, cautious skepticism, and the kind of entertainment-fueled speculation that makes the offseason almost as dramatic as the playoffs themselves. Jeff Teague on Club 520 joked about scenarios involving LeBron as a player, coach, owner, or drafting Bronny as the starting point guard. And honestly, knowing LeBron, you cannot even fully dismiss that as comedy, because the man has made the impossible look routine for his entire career. Media outlets from Heavy Sports to Marca to Yahoo have framed this as a seismic pivot, and social media has been absolutely ablaze with the Lee ownership memes and speculation. But let me bring it back to the retirement timeline itself, because this ownership angle does not exist in a vacuum. It is connected directly to a pattern of retirement drama that has followed LeBron for years. Way back after the 2023 Western Conference Finals sweep by the Nuggets, LeBron sat at that podium and told the world he had a lot to think about, and sources confirmed to multiple outlets that he was genuinely considering retirement after 20 seasons. Fans went through what The Ringer literally described as the 10 stages of coping with LeBron's potential retirement, from shock to denial to bargaining. Then in November 2024, after a game against the Grizzlies, LeBron got brutally honest. He told reporters, "I'm not going to play that much longer, to be completely honest. 1 year, 2 years, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to be that guy disrespecting the game." That sent shockwaves through the league because LeBron does not casually discuss timelines, and this current 2025-26 season has only amplified everything. He missed the first 14 games with sciatica. He has been battling knee soreness and left foot arthritis. His numbers have dipped to around 22 points per game, and he missed enough games to lose his All-NBA eligibility streak. And then came All-Star Weekend in February 2026, where LeBron delivered the most cryptic, philosophical response we have heard from him yet. He told reporters, "Just want to live, let that marinate." Stephen A. Smith argued on air that LeBron will not retire without a farewell tour because he wants to be celebrated. And Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey suggested LeBron should announce in 2026 and play a farewell 2026-27 season. But here's the counterpoint that makes the ownership rumor so potent. Not everyone needs a farewell tour, and if LeBron can walk straight from the court into a Las Vegas ownership suite, that might be the most LeBron James move of all time. And that is exactly what Bronny's comments are now being filtered through. What Bronny revealed about his dad's future. Now, before everybody starts jumping to conclusions and running wild with assumptions about what Bronny James did or did not say, let me walk you through every single instance where this young man opened his mouth about his father's retirement, because the details matter, the context matters, and the specific words he chose tell a story that most people are completely missing. And I say that because Bronny James is not his father. He does not do press conferences with philosophical riddles and cryptic Instagram posts. When Bronny speaks, he speaks directly, and what he has said about LeBron's future paints a picture that, when you connect it to everything else happening right now, carries enormous weight. The most significant interview came in May 2025, right after the Lakers season ended, when Bronny sat down with Fox Sports' Melissa Rowland. This was his rookie year wrap-up, a moment when every reporter in the building wanted to know one thing: is your dad coming back? And Bronny, to his credit, did not dodge it. He answered with the kind of sincerity that tells you this young man understands the gravity of the situation.
Are you viewing him kind of like as your teammate? Are there thoughts that come in where, okay, he's also your dad?
He later told Fox reporters, "Yeah, for sure. However long he can come back for, it's always a pleasure being around him. He's locked in. The stuff he does for his body and the preparation and stuff like that, I want to take full advantage of it." Now listen to what he is saying there. He is not saying my dad is retiring. He is not saying my dad is staying. He is saying however long, which tells you that Bronny himself understands the clock is ticking and he wants every last second of it. That is a son who knows something the rest of us are still guessing about, and he was not finished. In that same interview, Bronny added, "It's a blessing being able to learn from him, not only as a player, but as a dad. It's a different type of relationship. It was an amazing experience for me, and I'm looking forward to learning more from him if he's still here or not. Either way." Did everybody catch that? If he's still here or not. That is not the language of a son who has been told his father is definitely returning. That is the language of someone who is emotionally preparing for a reality that could go either direction, and the fact that he said it publicly, on record, to a major sports outlet outlet that tells you everything you need to know about where this family's headspace is right now. Then around the same time, in May 2025, ESPN's Dave McMenamin went on the Dan Patrick Show and relayed a conversation he had with Bronny about his favorite memories from his rookie year. McMenamin shared that Bronny mentioned the surreal idea of going to work with his dad and said he looks forward to that for years to come, plural. That is optimistic language, but it is also aspirational language, and there is a difference between saying, my dad will be here, and saying, I hope my dad will be here. Fast forward to July 2025, when LeBron exercised his player option, and the speculation shifted from whether he would retire to whether the 2025-26 season would be his last. Bronny was preparing for Summer League and his second NBA season when reporters caught up with him again. And this time, Bronny gave us a window into how the James household actually handles all this noise. He told Yahoo Sports, I didn't see it, he called me, I was like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, I don't really pay attention to that stuff. There's a lot of stuff going around that I don't pay attention to. And then he elaborated further, giving us perhaps the most revealing quote about how LeBron coaches his son through the media circus. Bronny said, we don't really talk about it much, but I think when stuff like that does come up, he just tells me to not worry about it, not even pay attention to it. Just lock into what you have going on right now. And that's what's going to get me better and keep me focused. I think it's good that he tells me to not pay attention to that stuff. Now, I want to pause here because this is critical. LeBron James, the most media-savvy athlete of his generation, is telling his son to ignore the noise. That is not just fatherly advice. That is strategic communication management. LeBron knows exactly what he is doing by keeping Bronny insulated from the retirement conversation. And it means the real discussions are happening behind closed doors where no microphone can reach. But to truly understand the weight of everything Bronny has said, you have to appreciate the historic nature of what these two have already accomplished together. On October 22nd, 2024, during the Lakers season opener against the Minnesota Timberwolves, LeBron and Bronny became the first father-son duo to ever play together in an NBA regular season game. They checked in together with 4 minutes left in the second quarter and shared the court for approximately 3 minutes. LeBron described the moment afterward by saying, that moment, us being at the scorer's table together and checking in together, something I will never forget.
I'm always thinking about, that's my dad, because that's literally my dad. So I just go out there and, when I'm playing, he's just my teammate. That's all I'm thinking at that point.
That right there is a young man navigating something nobody in basketball history has ever had to navigate, playing alongside the greatest player of your generation, who also happens to be the man who raised you, who changed your diapers, who drove you to AAU games. And the bond goes deeper than basketball. LeBron grew up without a father. His dad, Anthony McClelland, was absent from his life, and LeBron has spoken powerfully about how that absence shaped him into the father he became. That pain, that void, is exactly what drove LeBron to be so present in Bronny's life, and it is what makes this father-son NBA journey so much more than a sports story. He once admitted, and as I got older and I got to have my own family, I start to think, the reason he wasn't there is the reason why I became so strong mentally, so loving to my mother. That context is everything, because when Bronny talks about wanting more time with his dad on the court, he is talking about something that transcends basketball statistics and win-loss records. He is talking about a generational cycle being broken in the most public arena imaginable, and LeBron himself has acknowledged that his kids are the ones encouraging him to keep going. He has said that his children tell him, Dad, continue your dream. This is your dream. You've been here for us this whole time. So when Bronny says however long he can come back for, he is not just expressing a preference as a teammate. He is echoing a family conversation that has been happening in the James household for years, one that now intersects directly with retirement decisions, ownership ambitions, and the future of an entire franchise. The fact that Bronny has not made any additional public statements in 2026 about his father's retirement is itself telling. The silence from a young man who was willing to speak openly just months ago suggests that something has shifted in the family's approach to this conversation, and the timing aligns perfectly with the Las Vegas ownership buzz that erupted in late February. But what Bronny is dealing with on his own career front adds another entire layer to this saga: Bronny's battle and Bryce's rising potential. Now let me address the elephant in the room that nobody in LeBron's camp wants to talk about, but everybody else in the basketball world cannot stop discussing, and that is the career trajectory of Bronny James himself, and the avalanche of criticism that has followed this young man from the moment his name appeared on an NBA draft board. Because here is the reality, and I am going to give it to you straight with no chaser. Bronny James was selected 55th overall by the Los Angeles Lakers in the 2024 NBA draft, and from the second that pick was announced, the nepotism debate ignited like somebody somebody poured gasoline on a campfire that was already blazing.
Did you watch him play last night?
Ooh, I like that lob he got. He's coming along.
That right there captures the complicated reality of Bronny's situation. People can see the flashes, but the conversation always circles back to how he got here.
In a couple more years, he'll actually be a legitimate NBA player.
Yeah.
In 2 years.
They should have put that boy in the D-League.
And that sentiment has been echoed across the entire sports media landscape. In his rookie season of 2024-25, Bronny appeared in just 27 games, averaging 2.3 points and 0.7 rebounds in 6.7 minutes per game while shooting 31% from the field. Those are not numbers that scream NBA ready by any traditional metric, and everybody knows it. And see, that is the crux of this entire debate.
He was supposed to go back and forth, back and forth, back and
He had a
forth.
raw deal because of his dad, and it's all his fault.
Yep.
It's not Bronny's fault.
Yep.
I don't blame Bronny.
No, it's not.
The criticism is not really about Bronny the player. It is about the machinery that put Bronny the player in a position that most evaluators agree he was not ready for. LeBron publicly declared that he wanted to play with his son, told the world his son could compete at this level, and essentially leveraged his generational influence to make it happen.
He should have went to a different team. He should never went to the Lakers.
But his daddy forced the Lakers to pick him.
Now let me bring in the words of somebody who does not hold back on this topic. Stephen A. Smith on First Take addressed this situation with the kind of surgical precision that cuts through all the noise and gets right to the bone of the matter. He made it abundantly clear that his issue was never with Bronny personally, but with the process that surrounded his entry into the league.
LeBron James put him in. And I say that with profound respect.
Stephen A. acknowledged LeBron's love for his son and his good intentions, but he pointed out what scouts and evaluators had been whispering for years.
Everybody that I've spoken to says he's not ready for the NBA.
And Kendrick Perkins echoed those sentiments with a statement that became a rallying cry for the meritocracy argument. He talked about how opportunities in the NBA must be earned, not given, and how Bronny needs to go to an organization willing to develop him patiently. Perkins compared Bronny's potential ceiling to an Eric Bledsoe-type player with a better three-point shot, which is a respectable career, but not exactly what people expect from a name like James. The nepotism conversation intensified further when the discussion turned to how Bronny received a McDonald's All-American selection that multiple NBA scouts and evaluators believed he did not deserve, with insiders telling media members that the selection came because of his last name rather than his high school production. Stephen A. brought that up on First Take as foundational context, arguing that the pattern of receiving opportunities based on lineage rather than resume started before Bronny even entered college.
His father brought that on him because his father went before the world and said, I want to play with my son in the NBA.
And that right there is the point that nobody can argue around. LeBron did not just say he wanted Bronny in the NBA. He said he wanted to play with Bronny in the NBA. The distinction matters because it transformed the conversation from whether Bronny is good enough to which team is willing to take both of them as a package deal, and that fundamentally undermined the meritocratic foundation that the league is supposed to be built on. Now here's what is interesting about the current season. In 2025-26, Bronny has actually shown measurable improvement, playing in 29 games and averaging 2.2 points with 1.2 assists while shooting 40% from the field and 40.7% from three. Those 3-point numbers represent a significant jump from his rookie year, and he has flashed defensive hustle and passing ability that suggests there is a real player developing underneath all the noise. He even dropped 21 points on 64% shooting in a recent G League game, which shows that when given space to operate without the weight of his father's legacy on every possession, Bronny can actually produce. The discussion on Gil's Arena captured the tension perfectly when the hosts debated whether criticism of Bronny is fair given his unique circumstances.
Bronny's the only person that's been in Bronny's situation. A great father, one of the greatest you consider in the game.
And when Nick Young argued that the criticism was warranted simply because Bronny entered the professional arena, the emotional response was telling.
Because I love basketball myself, so I can't do what I love.
Yes, you can, but you're going to get criticized for it.
That exchange encapsulates the impossible position Bronny occupies. He loves basketball, he wants to compete, but the moment he stepped into the professional ranks, every shortcoming became ammunition for people who believe he does not belong. And the comparison to Gary Payton Jr. was particularly illuminating during that discussion because Gary Payton's son took a longer, more organic path to the league without his Hall of Fame father publicly demanding that teams draft his child. Matt Barnes on All the Smoke added another dimension to the conversation, drawing parallels between the treatment of Bronny and the criticism faced by Deion Sanders' sons, arguing that grown men directing negativity toward children because of their feelings about a father is fundamentally weak and damaging.
Unfortunately, to put the type of energy on kids because of a way you feel about a father is just so weak to me, and it's grown people doing it too.
And on the Run It Back show, the Lakers' nepotism structure was called out directly, with the host pointing out that Jeannie Buss herself inherited the franchise through family connections, making the organization's outrage over nepotism claims somewhat hypocritical. The panel agreed that this is simply another day in Los Angeles, where drama is the currency and controversy is the daily weather forecast. Now let me shift gears to the next chapter of the James basketball dynasty, because while everyone is focused on Bronny, there is another James brother quietly putting in work. Bryce Maximus James, LeBron's younger son, committed to the University of Arizona as a 3-star recruit and is currently redshirting his freshman season on a stacked roster. Standing around 6'5" or 6'6" with legitimate shooting range and athleticism, Bryce represents a different kind of prospect than Bronny. He is eligible for the 2026 NBA draft after his redshirt year, though projections currently place him as a late first-round to second-round selection at best. Stephen A. Smith himself noted on First Take that evaluators believe the younger brother Bryce has more potential than Bronny, which adds a fascinating wrinkle to LeBron's retirement calculus. If LeBron has genuinely dreamed of playing with both sons, and Bryce is still years away from NBA readiness, does that factor into whether the king hangs on or transitions to ownership, where he could potentially draft and develop both boys on his own terms? The connection between LeBron's retirement timeline, the Las Vegas expansion opportunity, Bronny's development, and Bryce's emerging potential creates a web of family and business decisions that no athlete in history has ever faced, and how that web untangles over the next few months will determine not just the future of the James family, but potentially the future of the NBA itself. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching. To enjoy more of such content, be sure to click on the card showing on the screen.